If you do something in a movie, does that make it legal?
Right.
We're asking the question of, was that really necessary? We can't judge, but we can definitely be concerned. The passion and dedication actors put in for their roles can sometimes get out of hand. We're taking a look at the artists that may have taken things a little too far when it came time for role preparation. Number 1. Some of us would jump at the opportunity to revisit our high school days, but for Tom Holland, not so much. Holland was cast as our beloved Spider-Man and skyrocketed him to A-list success, but he wasn't all that well known before putting the outfit on, which gave Marvel filmmakers a chance to get him into some method acting.
They can figure things out.
That doesn't work.
Tom became a secret agent high schooler at the Brooklyn High School of Science, one that is definitely fitting for his on-screen character, but his experience was unlike Parker's. It was very boring, although he thought of his time at the school to be informative and fun when bragging about his new role. Number 2. Oscar-winning performances by Lady Gaga have been coming in by the truckloads, and House of Gucci is just another performance to add to the list. But what goes into her preparation for the Oscar Gold? Pretty much living the life of your character for a year and a half.
I'm not saying that that's the way to do it. It's just how I do it.
She developed her portrayal of the real-life Reggiani by changing her whole lifestyle, eventually leading her to a very difficult reality check after filming had ended. Number 3. No one can deny the mighty sinister performance of Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger in Black Panther. We felt his suffering and loneliness, a feeling we would have never experienced if Jordan slacked on the preparation. To capture Killmonger's hatred and isolation of the world, he distanced himself from people and lived a very inside life. But, as a lot of the actors we will mention have forgotten to realize, the consequences of psychological stress on your body will come back to haunt you.
I got a little depressed. It was tough for me for a minute.
The end of filming dropped a heavy load of loneliness and anger that he couldn't seem to shake off. It took a long time for him to get over those horrible feelings, and a little help from a therapist too. Number 4. There's excitement brewing around the release of The Batman, part of it being that we get to see a new take on the vigilante Catwoman. Zoe Kravitz snagged the role, and she didn't take it easy on the preparation. Apart from all the intense physical training she endured, she decided it was best to study the styles of cats and lions fighting. This helped her understand how her character would move in a fight, and how it would mesh with her martial arts training. We did some really interesting floor work that incorporated different kinds of martial arts, and capoeira, and a kind of feline dance-like movement. Number 5. When news hits of an actor's transformation, social media makes sure it hits everywhere. This was the case from a behind-the-scenes photo of Benedict Cumberbatch getting ripped for Doctor Strange 2. Maybe a little unnecessary for his character, given he wears a very conservative robe and cape. But could this mean he's buffing up for his evil variant from the trailer? If not, he's probably gone too far in the multiverse. Number 6. We feel like Tom Holland is going to disappear if he loses any more weight, but he's willing to do anything for the role.
I wanted to make sure that I did justice to all the people who were suffering.
His role in Cherry transformed him from the teen superhero to a very dark and gritty character fresh out of war. This role required a lot of emotional and physical demand. His dedication brought him to the extreme lengths of fasting and running in trash bags. Number 7. We're back with yet another segment on intense weight loss, David Harbour edition.
This has been a tough year for genes everywhere.
The Red Guardian role in Black Widow required heavy physical transformation, and within a very short time frame. To capture the fallen hero image in his later years, Harbour asked producers to move all of his heavy build scenes to the very top of the schedule, making it less difficult for him to take off 60 pounds for the flashback scenes of his character, which they ended up filming last. The severe measure he took in losing the weight quickly involved basically starving himself. The girlfriend was not too happy about it either. Number 8. Kumail Nanjiani went big on his first superhero role in Eternals. As far as preparing for it, he watched a lot of star-studded movies. Because his character Kingo had blended in on Earth as a Bollywood megastar, Nanjiani chose to emulate the qualities of superstars Will Smith and Tom Cruise, and create a fresh take of the two's best attributes. Number 9. Sometimes when our favorite actors push the boundaries too far, it negatively affects everyone around them. That was almost the case for Robert Pattinson when he went to disgusting lengths of staying in character for The Lighthouse.
It's absolutely ridiculous, like the whole thing.
Doing something as silly as spinning around before takes and putting rocks in his shoes started making him a little nauseous, and his only co-star, Willem Dafoe, was not having it. Having to experience working with an extreme method actor can prove to be troublesome, but being thrown up on was not on Dafoe's itinerary. His poor character was supposed to sleep on Pattinson, even while he began gagging. Number 10. Tom became an international success before he was cast in the upcoming film Uncharted, and he didn't waste time in preparing for the coveted role of bartender turned action adventurer Nathan Drake. He already had a ton of action and stunt experience under his belt, but bartending was not his strong suit. So Holland thought it would be a great idea to take on a bartending job at an upscale restaurant. It really was only for a couple scenes, but the real question is, how did no one recognize him? Number 11. Another anticipated film coming out soon is Marvel's Morbius, but all we get for now is a powerful trailer showing Jared Leto's body transformations. Knowing how Leto can take things a little too far with his method, we hope he didn't take it too far with this drastic transformation. Number 12. Like we said, Leto can take things a little too far, and this one was probably the most detrimental to his health. For his role as Mark Chapman in the film Chapter 27, he prepared himself to gain a lot of weight quickly. He achieved his goal, but it came with very disastrous consequences. Because of the quick weight gain, he developed gout towards the end of filming. It was so painful for him that the crew had to push him around in a wheelchair between takes. Number 13. Shia Labeouf went to drastic measures for his role in Fury. As soon as he took the job, he ran off to join the National Guard to become a chaplain.
You got to start doing stuff so you believe it, and that was just some of the stuff that I felt was needed.
Changing his whole lifestyle and taking on a whole new title for a role is a little much to say the least. Not to mention he pulled out a tooth and knifed his face up. We can't even explain half the things Labeouf does, so we'll just leave it at that. Number 14. These actors and their disastrous diets. Yikes. And now we fall upon Ashton Kutcher's role prep for jobs. It was important for him to take care of his representation, so he changed his diet. A very unusual diet that Steve Jobs himself followed in real life. But eating nothing but the same fruits and plants is enough to make anyone get sick if they're not used to it. Unfortunately for Kutcher, it gave him pancreatitis twice during the duration of filming. Number 15. Last but certainly not least, we get another Robert Pattinson gone too far moment. This was for his role in Good Time, but it certainly wasn't a good time for him in preparing. Locking himself in a basement and refusing to take showers seems like the usual extreme method actors go through, but the poor costume department had to pay for it this time. He wore his costumes from the film to get a better feel for the character, and he never washed them. Isn't it a little strange seeing the lengths actors and actresses go through to prepare for roles? Of course, you have to do your research and prepare a little, but endangering your own body and lifestyle may go a bit too far. Did you think any of these actors or actresses went a little too far? Or not really at all? Leave a comment below.